Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. I wanted to do a little bit of a response video on a couple of the questions I got in my previous video. Let you guys know where my mindset is a little bit. My previous video, if you haven't seen it, I'll put a link in the description, but my previous video, I was just taking a walk in the woods, and I shot a quick video saying how I believe the powers that be are going to use electronic means to basically impose some type of soft martial law using technology if something bad happens. And they're going to use the tech that we're talking on right now and the platforms that we're talking on right now they're going to use that as another system of control to a certain extent. And I'm always ambiguous when I'm talking about stuff like that. I said they are going to use technology to do this. And I had a couple people ask me who they are. Now, I explained to them in the comments how I felt, who the theys are that I was speaking of. But I'm going to be a little bit more specific now in this video and give my opinion. Now, I have never been in the corporate command structure, so to speak. I've always been on the periphery. I've had a lot of good mentors over the years that were in those positions and basically got out because they didn't like how things were. And a lot of people think, the government's at the top and then the corporations are underneath it and then the middlemen and then, us little people are at the bottom. Now, I don't necessarily believe that from the things that I've seen and the things that I've been told over the years. I believe the corporations are actually on top of that because people don't get elected to positions and they don't get into positions of power unless they play ball. And the only way they play ball is if the wheels are greased by corporate money. Corporate money is what runs the big game, so to speak. And I have had a lot of people tell me over the years on how things really work in the boardrooms and the upper echelons of management. And people are not promoted and they're not put in positions by what they know. There's no easier way to put that. They are put into those positions by their ability to do whatever they're told. So then now you have a bunch of yes men that are in power basically that don't know how to do anything, and the people that do know how to do stuff, they're subservient. Now, if you ever read the book World War Z, in the book World War Z, the people who were actually in control after civilization collapsed and the ones that were trying to teach people were actually the ones that had some type of physical skills. They knew stuff, they knew how to fix things, they knew how to build things, and sort of the corporate periphery, they were trying to the people that had these skills were trying to teach these white-collar types, so to speak, on how to do stuff, and they didn't want to take orders from these people that they thought were subservient. That's a good analogy on how things actually work. People that are promoted and put into positions of power are put in there because they're going to do whatever they're told. That doesn't leave a lot of openings for any type of creative problem solving. The people that actually know how things work, they kind of don't want those jobs because they know that there's a negative connotation to them down the road. And when I talk of I'm talking about those control structures that are perhaps in government, but not necessarily in government because, like I said earlier, government doesn't exist without corporate money. So there is multiple layers of control that are imposed by people who don't necessarily know what's going on other than to say yes to their superiors and that they're going to do whatever they're told, no matter what it is. How many people have been put on trial for war crimes over the years that said, I was just following orders. Well, that just following orders isn't necessarily the moral or the right thing to do. So when I talk of I talk of those command structures. Now, a lot of the mentors that I had over the years, one in particular, and I think I've told this story before, but I think it bears repeating in this context. I had a really good friend that worked for, I don't think I said it in the other videos, but he worked for Pinkerton Security, and he's been gone for several years already, God rest his soul. And he was in the higher echelons of that particular corporation at the time. And there was a particular bid that they did, and they got accepted for this bid that they put on to watch these different facilities. And these different facilities were pretty important facilities, but they didn't have the money to provide the vehicles and the infrastructure that was needed to look after that. So what did they do? He asked them that in the meeting, said, all right, we got this contract here now. How are we going to do this? We don't have enough money. We don't have enough trucks. We don't have enough of this. And his hires up said, well, listen, this is what you're going to do. You're going to go through here and you're going to cut the pay of all these employees right here so you have enough money to buy the stuff you need to run these accounts. That's business for you. That's how business works. And people always say, well, inflation, inflation is what's driving up all the prices. Yes and no. Yes, inflation is driving up prices, and there's all kinds of fiscal problems with that. You get into our banking system and all that. And I know all this stuff. I've been around this kind of stuff for a long time. And a lot of the old timers always seen that stuff as well. But if you look at inflation is a certain extent, the businesses are going to keep raising prices until they get enough backlash where they say, okay, we've raised it enough now, we better back off a little bit. They're going to push it right to the edge of the envelope because it's all about making money, right? I don't care what anybody says. Business, to a certain extent, is an unscrupulous thing. There are small businesses, small businesses that are trying to make a go of it, and they have a small amount of employees, and there's some good businesses out there, but they're all them small ones. You get into the large corporate world, it's all about the money. They don't care who they sell stuff to or what. Okay, well, this particular regime on the east side of the world here has got a really bad record with how they treat their people and the way they impose their own type of dictatorship, but they'll build stuff for us a heck of a lot cheaper than what we can get somebody here in the States or whatever, some other place to make it. So let's just go ahead and have that. We're gonna just look the other way on this other stuff here that they're doing because they're going to build us this stuff cheap. I don't know how easier I can explain it other than that. As the old saying goes, remember the old timers saying this: when a poor man steals from you, it's violence. When a rich man steals from you, it's just business. And when I talk about that control structure and I talk about they can't have the little people that do the actual work for them. They can't have them, pushing back. They have to have some net of control over them. And why do you think they've established all these electronic means to control every aspect of our lives and monitor what you do and plug in what you do into the algorithm so they can predict what you're going to do in the future? It's all right in front of us. We just have to kind of shift our way of thinking. I call it the 50s line of thinking. A lot of people are in that 50s line of thinking where they kind of believe what they're told and they want to see the good in people. And I know a lot of people like this. They want to see the good in people. But I've had enough negative experiences in my life. There's a lot of ulterior motives what go into things. People think they're doing the right thing because they're following the rules and they're following the orders that they're given. But those orders and those rules aren't necessarily the moral way to treat other human beings and or life on this planet. Let's say it like that. But anyway, I just wanted to clarify who they are. Now you guys know my mind a little bit on who I think they are and a little bit of the control structure and how business works and how I think the people at the top, so to speak, are ones that take their orders again from another level up above that. But anyway, this is Modern Refugee. Appreciate all my subscribers out there. Hope you guys just enjoyed this little talking video here. Not really showing you anything important, just sharing my mindset to a certain extent. But anyway, appreciate you guys out there. You guys take care.